Hey guys, welcome to my first ever podcast. I haven't been very good about being consistent with my uploads, like ever. They've always been like, well, I'll upload really consistently for like a month and then I'll take a 3 month, hiatus. So I'm taking this opportunity now to do a podcast. Welcome to the first ever in the world Scoliosis podcast that I could find anyway. I never found I haven't found a different scoliosis podcast, so if there is one, please let me know. But until then, I'm the first in the world and the best at something. So that's all that matters. I'm thinking about calling it straight talk straighten up because your spine's all bent and messed up, and so if you straighten up, it'll be better. So thought it was kind of funny. This probably isn't a very good introduction to a podcast, but I've never really done this before on my own, so anyway guys, so I'm just going to be rolling solo today, and maybe in the future I'll have some guests, but today I just kind of want to talk to y'all about maybe just some questions that y'all have. I'll go through some comments, but yeah man, it's rough out here with mental health and dealing with pain every single day. So I just think it would be nice and helpful to have kind of a community for us all to connect and kind of commiserate with each other. Because something that I really wish I had whenever I was first diagnosed was some other people who knew what I was going through to help me through it. And there was not that community there. And so and there just wasn't really, there's no social media kind of thing for young men to go to who want to be fit, or young women to go to who want to be fit, that I just never found that when I was first diagnosed 5 years ago now. So I want to build that community, and I want to be there for other kids like me. I'll be 20 in August, so I still consider myself pretty fresh as far as not knowing what's going on. So yeah, here we are guys. If you will please like and share this video with other Scolioly boys. My buddy Oscar, he likes to say that. So shout out BC, you know who you are, boy. Love you, dog. But anyway guys, so yeah, today we're going to talk about I guess mental health, what kind of my struggles are, and what I think. Because whenever I'm doing well, I don't really care about the old guy who struggles with mental health. Whenever I'm struggling, I find it really hard for me to get out of bed in the morning, go be productive, at my job. So it's kind of ironic that I say, I haven't really done this a whole lot. But I don't really host. I produce and kind of oversee and do graphic creations for podcasts. It's a podcasting company. I'm not going to say the name because I don't know if it will affect my job there, me having my own podcast. And I don't want me affecting, me saying whatever I want on here to affect my employment. So I'm going to keep that anonymous for now. But yeah guys, so I don't know about y'all, but it takes me a minute for me to kind of come out of that. I come in, man, I don't know what happens. I guess my back starts hurting real bad. And then I think, man, it's never going to stop. And then it kind of just really wears me down to the point where I'm not getting my, enough sleep. And the way I kind of get out of it is I'll pray real hard, and I'll thank God and I'll start trying to be grateful for the things that I do have. I get so focused on the things that I don't have. Man, my truck sucks, and I'm not doing well financially, and I'm not where I want to be with my physique, and man, my family, just all this trash about what I don't have instead of focusing on what I do have. I live in America. I have options where I can get help with my back. I've got a great family with loving parents, so got a great camera, got a great job. So I think focusing on the things that you can be grateful for, and then getting enough sleep, that's the things that help me whenever I'm having really tough physical stuff. So, but yeah, man, let's get into a few of these comments that I have. One was real messed up, man. Months, like I guess a couple of months ago, this guy commented like just some real nasty stuff. He said, okay, well, I can't find the comment, so maybe I replied to it and I can't find it. But basically the guy said, just give up all hope and your situation will never improve and there is no God, and stop coping with it. I'm like, like that was super, but that was one comment out of 7 billion that I have, not 7 billion, but a ton of comments that are super, super positive on my channel. I don't know why I fixated on that one, but let's get into answering some of these questions. So, Victor Paruduru 438 6 months ago says, thanks for the help, but what about dips? Dips are good. I do dips. It kind of depends on how big of an imbalance you have, on your where your shoulder placement is. If you have really upward shoulders, you probably want to stay away from them. But because generally unilateral movements are bad, you want to stick to bilateral movements. So that's things like dumbbell, alternating dumbbell curls, bench press. Oh, there's the train. Probably will pick that up. But I know in past videos I've kind of said like I got bilateral and unilateral confused, so sorry about that. Hopefully you were able to decipher through what I was saying, but most of my videos were kind of put together pretty quickly. Like I said in my old video, I think the last one I posted, I'm doing most of the editing on my phone here. And I just don't have enough money to buy an editing laptop, so I have just got like a MacBook Air, and it gets the job done for work, but it doesn't have a big enough processor for editing. So eventually I'll get that figured out. But yeah, man. So let's see if I can answer another one of these questions, and eventually I want to have y'all send in videos so that way y'all can communicate with me a little bit better. So, bro, is calisthenics the best option for scoliosis people? I'm going to the gym, doing fitness exercises, but which one is much better? I don't know. So I would say generally no, calisthenics is probably not going to be the move, just because, like I said, unilateral movements. So the kind of part of the reason I found out I had scoliosis was I did a brownies 200 push-up a day challenge, and that's kind of what started me getting into fitness. David Lade's video, obviously, I guess it's not obvious, but I've talked about it before. David Lade's video where his body transformation from, I think it was 14 to 16, or it was 14 to 17 or something like that, but he just put on so much muscle in that, and I was his size, I was a real skinny kid. And that just really motivated me, inspired me. David also has very, very mild scoliosis. He told me about that when I met him at Zoo Culture. So that was pretty cool. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, scoliosis, calisthenics stuff. Okay, so yeah, generally, so the way I found out was I was doing so many push-ups that I developed the imbalance in my traps. This trap was practically non-existent, and this one was I think this one was non-existent, and this one was super pronounced. And so that was kind of like, whoa, what the heck's that? So yeah, I went and got diagnosed, like a year later, just because I was like, oh, that's weird. Didn't really pay attention to it. So if you notice imbalances like that, guys, you gotta get checked out. So for the like 3% of people who don't have scoliosis who watch these videos. But yeah, man, that was really weird. So yeah, generally if you're just pushing against the earth, doing calisthenic stuff, it's not a good idea. But yeah, man. Oh, this person says, I find it amazing you don't have muscle imbalances. I do. It's not as noticeable because I've trained my certain way. For me, I have severe muscle imbalances. It looks funny, especially with my delts and biceps. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Do those bilateral movements. My brother in scoliosis, this YouTuber Natural Hypertrophy, also has scoliosis and has a lot of experience programming bodybuilding routines. I would love it if you two were to collab and make one specifically for people who have scoliosis or ADD. Oh, the adolescent disc dysplasia, what I'm talking about. And maybe you could test it with your physiques so that it's applicable to beginners like us with spine problems like us. That is a great idea. I would love to. I'm still working on my program for y'all, so I'll have that released soon. I'm trying to do it video by video, but eventually I want to have it laid out in a program that you can just print out and you can take it with you to the gym. So that's what I want to eventually have done. It's a lot of work, so and I don't make any money off of these, off these videos, so it does take a lot of time, but I really want to do it for y'all, so that you'll have something to do and work off of. So because it was hard for me, I know that it's difficult, but that's a great idea. His name is Glowy Boy. He's got the what's his name? Astro Boy profile picture. So how do you advance your core? My bigger curve is the lower one and it doesn't seem to be able to strengthen neither the six packs nor the obliques. Okay, so he's got the curve on the lower side and he can't really strengthen his obliques. I find it hard to find appropriate exercises for me to work it as I don't squat. Oh, with his glutes, okay. Also, what about your glutes? I even have a tilt in my pelvis that made my curve worse and more curved because of the weak front core muscles and the strength of the lower back and weakness, glutes and hamstrings. So he basically has a weak lower body, not counting the legs. So what I would do, man, I would just do single leg presses. That's going to strengthen your core. If you brace properly, it's going to strengthen your glutes, the muscles in the hips. If you need to fix a lower back pad, because I know a lot of y'all have complained about, well, leg press is great, but my lower back kills me whenever it does it. So maybe if you can make a lower back pad for it, that might help. So there's an idea for you. Don't know if that'll work or not, but try that out. That was, I can't read that name. I'm sorry. That was a guy that I can't pronounce his name. So, sorry, buddy. I have mid-thoracic scoliosis. Do you find that you're working out different muscles while doing the same exercises? Yes, I do. So, it feels like if I'm doing flies, I can only feel it on one side with dumbbell press. Oh, I can only feel it on one side. With dumbbell press, I feel like my clavicle is going to pop out, okay, on one side, and the other feels it normal. It does that for every exercise. Do you have any tips? Yeah, so for bench press, I have to set up really differently because I have the same problem. Because my spine curves this way, I'll have to pinch this shoulder back a lot further. No, this shoulder back a lot further. Because this one's sticking out so much more, I have to pinch it and I'll have to bring this one out so it can work the same muscles. And I do that for barbell and dumbbell press. So, yeah, so I have the same problem, man. You just have to, just adjust your body to where it feels like it's working the same muscles, or just pick different exercises so that you can work those out. So it's just going to take you a lot longer. So whenever you're doing like let's say lateral raises, for example. This arm for me, I always have to hold it a little bit more straight out, and this one I kind of hold it a little bit more bent. So this one's kind of going up and down, this one's a little bit more bent like this, and that's how it works the same muscles for me. So you really just have to kind of play with it and figure out, like what works for me. Maybe you want to do it with cables, and that's like the only, because that'll be on the same track. I don't really know. So because our situation is super unique and to our specific case, you're just gonna have to do a little bit of engineering on figuring out what works for you. So I hope that answered your question. That was MEYS6VL. So you're inspiring and grow. I've been training in the gym for the past. I've been training in the gym. Sorry, I'm also dyslexic, so the words kind of move around for me. Apologize. I've been training in the past and left the gym almost 4 years ago because of scoliosis, because my right side was more developed than the left side, and I was sick and tired. So keep going, brother. Appreciate it, man. That's really nice of you to say. Thank you. Do you think working out with a brace is worth it? Yes, absolutely. I'm 34, looking to get a brace and support the clear, all caps, treatments I've done in the past. I guess that's a sort of treatment. I want to get back into lifting and work on my entire left posture chain, but I'm concerned I'm going to make imbalances worse. I've had a weak left side as a whole. Any suggestions to get my stuff together and get into better shape while having a 30-degree curve? Okay. 30-degree curve isn't as bad as you think it is. I have two 60-degree curves, or at least I did pre-brace. So now I think I have a 50 and a 40. So it's still more than but I understand, yeah, you have imbalances. Yeah, working out with the brace is totally worth it. At the clinic that I went to, they highly encourage, and they only would let you work out in your brace. So all your ab exercises were done in your brace, way harder. So yes, definitely work out in your brace if you have one. It's always better to do that so you can get more comfortable in there. And I've been trying to start wearing my brace at night. The ADD, I think, is going down a little bit. For those of you who don't know, it's adolescent disc dysplasia, and it's basically degenerating spinal discs. So definitely not good to have. Yeah, so if you try, so he's concerned about making his imbalances worse. Man, just only do what your left side can handle. So if your left side, whatever side's weaker, don't do more on your more strengthened side, right? So let's say I can only do 4 reps on my left side, but I can do 16 on my right. I'm only going to do 4 reps on my right side and only 4 reps on my left side. So that way I'm still working it out, but I'm not getting it any bigger. You know what I mean? So, and eventually you'll be able to do 16 reps and you'll be completely evened out. So this sounds like, but I'm not progressing. You really are, and you want to get to a flat baseline where everything's good. So that's my advice for that, man. I hope that's helpful. 34 and getting into working out. That's really awesome, bro. I appreciate that. That's great. Whoa, that's a long one. I had my correction surgery for 2 curvatures about 10 years ago when I was 18. I was worried about lifting. Oh, he didn't actually have a question, but he had some very, very nice words to say. Then VENUSLUNE. I don't know how to say your name, but I really appreciate it. Vesulune. Venus Loon. Sorry, I can't read. Man, that's awesome, bro. I appreciate that. He boosts his confidence. Man, that's great. Really happy to hear that. Good for you. Do you perform regular bench press with barbell as well, or only incline? For me, I pretty much only do incline. Whenever I do regular, the arch really has it, like, and I unrack the weight. if I'm doing the arch, which is proper bench press form, I usually pop out a rib, so that's not good. So, but for me, I pretty much only do incline. So, and then to work lower chest, I just do dips, or if I want to do like incline or flat bench on with dumbbells, I'll do that. So, I hope that makes sense. But no, I don't usually do regular barbell flat bench press. So, anyway, man, yeah, I think I answered a lot of questions there. I hope that was helpful to some of y'all who had some of the same problems. Yeah, man, I want to try to do this weekly, just kind of share my thoughts, what's going on with me, figure out what's going on with y'all, so I can kind of get what's going on. I just said going on a lot, but whatever. But yeah, man, what's been going on? Oh my gosh, this is not going so well. With me, man, I don't know, man. I've just been really struggling with figuring out what I want to do for my life, I'm just I've been taking it like one day at a time. I've been going back to see my folks a lot, my parents, my brother, my sister. But y'all, yeah, just hang in there, man. Your life will get better. And it'll be different. And I know what y'all are going through with your first. You feel so alone when you get diagnosed, and it just really sucks. Man, like, I remember when I was 16 and I was just driving home from work, and my back was hurting so bad every day. It was so much worse than it is now. Man, it just would not stop. Man, I was just thinking, like I was driving, and I was just thinking, man, like if this car that was coming at me veered into me and I died, at least I would be out of pain, I wasn't suicidal or anything like that, but I was just thinking, like, man, if I was dead, I would not be in pain. I'm so glad, like, I don't really think that anymore, but sometimes, and every once in a while, y'all understand what I'm saying. The people who don't know are like thinking, like, man, that's crazy, like, why would you say that? Man, it's just, your existence is so diluted and just it's like a really crappy filter just put over your life might be awesome, you might be doing all these cool things, but man, you got this thing, it's always bothering you and you just can't get away from it. The only time that you're not in pain is when you're asleep, and you just hate waking up because you know you're going to be in pain. I mean, that's what life is like for people with scoliosis and people with disabilities or chronic pain. It doesn't have to be, this podcast isn't for just people with scoliosis. It's with, if you have a disability and you want to say screw you to that disability, that's what this podcast is. This is telling the world, you don't own me, man. You don't control my destiny. I control my destiny. Like, if you want to be a freaking, sprinter, you don't have any legs, and you, screw that. I'm going to get a wheelchair, I'm going to, get the most developed arms, and I'm going to press my way through it. That's what this is all about, man. This is all about, there's no fate, there is no destiny. This is what I want to be, and this is what I'm going to do. Whenever I really wanted to be a Navy SEAL. And they said, no, you can't do it. I'm like, okay, well, screw that, man. I might not be able to be a Navy SEAL, but I'm going to be whatever the next best thing is. And I haven't found it yet, but I'm working towards finding that next best thing. So, if you're tired of being mediocre, man, if you would rather be dead than mediocre, this is what's for you, man. This channel's all about that. So, but yeah, man, if you're feeling suicidal, or if you're feeling like you want to die, or because you don't want to be in pain anymore, you're not alone, bro. And it'll go away eventually. And you just gotta find some people that really care about you and know what you're going through. My dad, he struggled with back pain, chronic back pain. His, since he was, I think, 30. And so it's been 20 years, or not quite 20 years for him. But it's coming up on, like, I think 15 years, 16 years for him. And man, I've only been doing it for, alright, sorry, so my camera battery died, so I think what I was talking about was how long I had been in pain and something else. So 7 years, so since I was 13 till now. 7 years, and my dad, that's right, so he had been doing it for 15, 17-ish years now. And he's finally getting some relief. He's going to this chiropractor that's really good. It's called Cutting Edge Chiropractic. So that's really good that he's getting some help. But anyway, man. Yeah, so I think that's about it for today. So I'll catch y'all again next week. I should have another video about, like a workout program video next week. So I'm going to try to be more consistent. I know I keep on saying that, but this time I really mean it. So anyway, guys, I love y'all. Please subscribe. Stay strong. Be safe out there, guys. So if you'll please leave a comment that you want me to answer, maybe in the next video, I'd be happy to answer the question. So also, if y'all want to send in like a voice memo or something to the Instagram, which is Scoliosis_athletics on Instagram, go ahead and do that too. You can also text me there. I know a few people had a few questions about that. So anyway, please subscribe. I hope you'll have a great rest of your day, or if you're watching at night, please have a good night. So yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye.